Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
Stefan. So sometimes when I'm looking in your eyes and doing my best to be receptive, I feel waves of well, the yogis call it Maya. It's like waves of sort of delusion or illusion just sweep over me. So I just put that in the Dantian, just sink it and let it go.
Yeah. You know, we live in a world where there's an endless amount of illusion that is we're confronted with every day. And, we often just attach ourselves to it. We get swept away in it. We get eaten alive by it, material world, and, emotional world. And the best thing you can do with it is draw that energy into the chakra below the navel and transform it from Maya into Chi. And that Chi will give you the power to open the heart, to quiet the mind, to allow energy to move through the sexual area. It'll give you the power to develop a chakra system that'll connect you directly with infinite energy in the universe. It's all energy. Everything in the universe is manifestation of God, spirit. And then we have our minds and how our minds deal with these things. And the minds are a product of training and how we were raised and what we're taught to believe. And all of it is just part and parcel of us learning how to get free. Learning how to use whatever gifts we're given to transform the Maya into literally into a spiritual life. It can be done, but one has to have the practice, the training, the ability, the development in themselves to be able to do something like that. It takes time to get that kind of development. Since I started doing this meditation, and this is true, I mean, look, when I was a young man, I absolutely had no interest in money, material things. I spent, you know, from the age of 16 to the age of 25, 20. I mean, I avoided it. And then I met Rudy, and it wasn't a matter of embracing materialism. It wasn't a matter of embracing Maya. It was a matter of learning how to use the practical ways of living, you know, as a way of getting a spiritual life. Knowing that the only way I could deal with the intensity, the pressure of Maya was by connecting myself to God, to higher energy, and by doing that, transforming the Maya into Shakti, into energy that made me much stronger inside myself and more capable of recognizing illusion and what it is. Maya isn't a negative thing. We make it into a negative thing. We transform it into greed. We transform it into all kinds of stuff, that we somehow feel like obsessed with. We have to obtain wealth, money, power, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's nothing wrong with wealth and money and power. It just depends upon how we use it. I mean, in Plato's Republic, he talks about the philosopher king. And really, the philosopher king is the person who can transform power and wealth and into wisdom, into the ability to deal with life in a wise way. We're born here to learn how to do this. And this meditation is about learning how to do this. I mean, when I was younger, I threw myself into situations that even thinking about it today, I said, Stuart, you were nuts. I really mean it. I was crazy. I would throw myself into financial situations that were so far beyond my ability that the only way I could deal with them was by building a system inside that could transform those situations into a spiritual life, going to where the real power was. Not the power of greed and money and business and all this nonsense. That's all very, it comes and it goes. But the power of what's infinite and permanent in the universe. And tapping that power gave me the ability to deal with all these really insane decisions I made when I was younger about, money and about getting myself into debt that was beyond, but anything I could imagine. And I grew because of it. And if it wasn't what I learned from Rudy, every one of those decisions would have swamped me. They would have transformed me into a very greedy person, into a person who wanted power, greed, control over other people. I mean, for God's sake, I spent 9 years building an ashram in Texas. It was fantastic. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the pictures of that house and what I did there in 9 years. Unbelievable. And one day I told everybody, I have to leave. I have to leave. I knew I had to leave because I needed another energy in order to work and help me to grow. I needed to go back to New York City to help me truly learn how to deal with the impossible. And so, I mean, it's part of the evolution of one's inner work. We learn how to use the things that could so cripple us and imprison us into things that free us. Because we build that kind of strength inside ourselves that transforms illusion into a spiritual life. It's all energy.
Thank you, Stuart. It's like emotional body just throws feelings up, like I disconnect from the spiritual aspect of myself. I become like Joe Schmo walking down the street
You're not Joe
the
Schmo.
moment.
Just open your heart. That's emotional. It's love. It's gratitude. It'll transform all of that emotions into something that will give you a spiritual life. Be grateful for, I mean, you sent me two of your books. They're wonderful books. Be grateful for having written those books.
Yeah,
You know, it'll transform all that emotional quicksand into something that's like a springboard, to connecting with God, higher energy, and free you of all of that drama that comes with emotion, all that soap opera that comes with emotions.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's the same thing with sexual energy, the same thing with mental energy. We need to master these energies and learn how to use them to develop the spiritual. That's what this class is all about. That's all it's about. I mean, look, it's not about me being a guru, me having disciples. I've said it a million times. I gave up being a guru a long time ago. I mean, I could have become Swami Stewart, if I wanted to. I never needed to be Swami Stewart. I needed to learn how to get free of everything that was keeping me locked in a prison called Stewart. And until I met Rudy, and frankly, not even until the day I met him, took 20 years to really learn what he taught me. I suddenly began to step out of that cave, that prison called Stewart. It was a good thing to step out of it. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, the only thing that separates anybody from a spiritual life is themselves. That's it. It's not their race, their religion, where they're born, how rich they are, how poor they're. It's themselves. It's themselves. That's the only thing that keeps anyone from a spiritual life. And all this meditation is about is learning how to get free of oneself. We have to teach ourselves how to become nothing. We come from nothing, we go to nothing, but we got to teach ourselves while we're alive how to be nothing, how to be free of this person that really keeps us in a prison, and that's ourselves. Does anyone else have a question? Yeah, as I have been announcing, most of you, a lot of you don't even come to the class, but I'm not going to be teaching a class tomorrow night. I really need a kind of a rest. It's just been quite a year. So tomorrow is going to be my 1 day vacation. But there will be class on Thursday and Sunday, and the regular classes, that I teach for people in Israel and Europe on Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday. Does anybody have a question? Anyone else have a question? Okay, well, God bless you all and thank you. You all have wonderful Hanukkahs and Christmases. I think that other Kwanzaa, is that what it's called? Have wonderful, whatever you worship. Let it be worship with gratitude and with love and with an open heart. And just for the fact that, for God's sake, we're breathing, we're alive. We have the miracle and the gift of life. So if you feel a little depressed, you got the miracle and the gift of life. That depression is reminding you, hey, schmuck, be happy, you're alive. Otherwise, you're going to suffer a lot. So God bless you all. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone on Thursday.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank
Be
you.
well.
Thank you, Stuart.